parents owned a bagel shop, and I worked there growing up, so I perpetually smelled like an everything. And I hated it. And that is because I was destined to be a singer. Not just any singer, one with shelves of Grammys, dozens of world tours, and my own line of perfume. And I recorded a couple albums on Long Island, and then I had this opportunity to record another album out in LA. So I took off. It was going to take me 3 months. I was going to write the songs, get a deal, and go on tour. As we say in New York, bada bing. All right. Well. 3 months turned into 5 years. I single-handedly put the Lost in Los Angeles. But I was persistent, so as slowly but surely, some opportunities started to develop, and as things really started to build, I would learn that life can change. Can you all snap? In an instant. For me, that instant came in the form of a phone call. It would have me back on Long Island the next day, because my mom found out that she had stage 4 breast cancer. 9 short months later, she passed. And I underwent a paradigm shift. You see, all the things that I thought mattered suddenly started to question them. I remember the day that it hit me. It was a Saturday morning when I was back in LA. I can't tell you if it was for 1 hour or 10 hours. All I know is that I sat up in my bed and I did not move. I was just staring at the wall ahead of me. I wasn't seeing the wall. I was reliving all of those memories that I had with my mom, things that I would cherish, some of the things that I'd regret. And then I started to think about the future and all the things that I took for granted that my mom would be with me and my family for. Talk about a disruption. Right? And I have to say, when I started to think like that, I was like, gosh, all of these things that I thought mattered. And when we're in those moments, just like, even though I was sitting in my bed, I may as well have been standing at a fork in the road. Because all of these questions, familiar questions, started to pop up. What does this all mean? What am I doing? What's the goal? What's next? We all could relate to stuff like this, right? Maybe after a big triumph or a tragedy or maybe just a tough day. And we think we have no other choice because life is moving so quickly and we have so many demands on us that we just got to push it all down and move forward. Well, I am here to tell you today that there is always another choice. In the midst of it all, in spite of it all, the disruption, the disappointment, the chaos, we can choose to rise. Now, the burning question, how? Theodore Roosevelt had a friend whose name was Squire Bill Widener, and he said what I believe is a really good blueprint. He said, do what you can with what you've got where you are. Not where you used to be, not where, give me a little time someday. No, in the present, where you are. There is so much power available to us if we would dare to engage in the present. Classic example from the 80s. Now, looking around, none of you were born yet. So just take my word for it. There was a woman whose name was Angela Cavallo, and she made the news. That is because her kid got pinned under a car. She sees this, goes over, and lifts the car. Now, without seeing a picture of her, you guys know this, without asking me if she was taking some creatine or not, did she have the strength on paper to lift the car? No, she did not. So what was the secret sauce? What was the defining factor between her kid living and dying? It was that Angela was doing what she could with what she had 100% in the present. Now, it's easy to dismiss a story like that. That was a special circumstance. Or was it? You see, I believe that we can activate that resource and power and apply it in our careers, in our health, our relationships, in the face of industry disruption, or perhaps a chicken who may or may not die. And if we want to apply that, you have to pay attention to what Angela didn't do. She did not consult her fears or her doubts. Now, in our everyday lives, we do more than just consult our fears and doubts. We hang on to them with white-knuckle grips. And that is how we are getting stuck. But I would like to point out a difference between getting stuck and deliberately doing the work to be still. Many of us are getting stuck because we don't know how. We don't have a tool, we don't have a resource or a guide to help us be still. You see, when I was sitting on that bed out in LA, something was different. I didn't have anything to hang on to anymore. I was blown out of my comfort zones. And I was also tired of doing the same thing and hoping for something different. I was also determined to not let any of the lessons that I feel my mom lived to teach me be in vain. So I started doing things differently. It was a process. It didn't take overnight. But I started to set goals that actually lined up with my core values. And if a goal that I had didn't line up with my core values, I canceled it. Now, a lot of times we're doing these types of things, right? We're saying, okay, well, this is doing what you could with what you had where you are. This led me on a 2-year journey to sing the anthem in all 50 states. I made history. There's a documentary about it. I sang for NASCAR and donkey basketball. Woo! And you know what? That was all great. But what came out of it, most importantly, was something that I now call the drop method. D-R-O-P-P. It is what I use whenever I start to feel stuck. How many of you would like to know how to apply the drop method in your life? Here's what you do. Step 1. You get that sheet of paper on your table where it says speakers you're interested in. You write my name. All right? And you find out if I'm available, and I will be there. All right? But we don't have time to go into it. But what I have is, this is a tool that will help you ignite momentum from within. Maintain balance. Wouldn't it be nice for the people that you work with, your associates, your sales reps, your C-suite, to be able to do that? You see, doing what you can with what you've got where you are, truly, is doing all the things that you thought were impossible. It's doing all the things that everybody else told you was impossible. It is knowing that there is never going to be an ideal time to start. It is knowing that you're going to be wishing for other things, wanting for other things. But we know this. In life, you can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes and you apply the drop method, you just might find you get what you find all your needs are met. Begin to see that within you is exceedingly and abundantly above what you could ask, think, or imagine. We begin to rise to the occasion that is our lives. And we tap into what I believe is our God-given gifts and talents. Just like Angela Cavallo, we find the strength in those circumstances to become the most creative, inventive, resourceful, purpose-driven, compelling, compassionate versions of ourselves. And somehow, some way, resources are able to flow through us. And that is because we become the type of people that others want to help. And not because they feel bad for us and they want to give us a handout. Because they see us, they believe in us, and they want to give us a hand up. Everybody, stick your hand up in the air right now. Say this: I will do what I can with what I got. Where I am, I will rise. Now do this. Boom. You just drop methoded the mic. Now, I would love to share this message with you. It spans across all different industries. I'm an opening, I'm a general, I'm a closing. If you want me to sing the anthem, I got you. Thank you, guys. Come and see me later. Thank you.
All right, girlfriend, Mustang.